Good morning and welcome to uh, back. I am Varalakshmi, Department of Civil Engineering from Murray Lakshman Reddy Institute of Technology and Management. In this lecture, I want to give the brief overview on the failure of gravity of dams. Before going to discuss failure of gravity dams, first we need to know what are the stresses acting on the gravity dam. Mainly, there are two stresses acting on the dam. They are principal stress and shear stress. When coming to principal stress, consider an elementary triangular section at either the heel or the toe of the dam section, such that stress intensities may be assumed to be uniform on its faces. In calculating the principal stresses, first we assume that the shape of the dam is triangular shape. So in this figure, this is tau represents the basement, dr represents the upstream phase, ds represents the downstream phase. Okay. These are the initially we considered dam is in triangular shape. So dy, dr, ds are the lengths of each side, where dy is the basement, dr is the upstream phase, ds is the downstream phase. Okay. The face of the dam will be a principal plane as water pressure acts on it in the perpendicular direction with no accompanying shear stress. So here the water acts in perpendicular direction. That means the water force is horizontal. But when you view from the dam side, when you view from the dam side, that is in the perpendicular direction. So from in the point of view of from dr, the water force is in perpendicular direction. That means water force acts like this. From water side it is horizontal direction, but from dam view it is perpendicular direction. Since the principal planes are mutually at right angles, the plane AB considered at right angles to the face AC will also have only a normal stress on it and will be other principal plane. So ABAC are mutually right angles to each other. So here we considered a right angle triangle. Okay. The normal stress will act on the principal plane. We assume that normal stress acting on the principal plane. The forces acting on elementary section are shown in figure. Here you can see the forces. So basement dy, in dy tau will act, tau means shear stress. In water pressure side sigma will act, and downstream side P will act. What are the values? Where P is the intensity of water pressure, sigma 1 is the principal stress on plane AB, tau is the shear stress, Pn is the normal stress. P is intensity of water pressure, Pn is normal stress. The normal forces on the planes AB, BC and CA are respectively sigma 1 dr, sigma 1 dr, the principal stress normal forces acting on AB, sigma 1dr AC PDS and BC PNDY. Okay, resolving all the forces in vertical direction, we get the values here. P and dy and dr values are given below. Next, and solving all these equations, we get sigma 1 equal to Pn secant square phi minus P tan square phi. If we consider the earthquake pressure also, then sigma 1 equal to Pn secant square phi minus P plus Pe tan square phi. So what is sigma? Sigma 1 is the principal stress. This equation is known as the principal stress relationship and is applicable to both upstream and downstream phases. It should be noted, however, that for the upstream phase, sigma 1 will always be less than P. In upstream side, sigma 1, that means principal stress is always less than the intensity of water pressure. So in upstream side, water pressure is more, principal stress is less. Hence, sigma 1 is the minor principal stress and P is the major principal stress for the upstream side. For the downstream phase, the case is reversed. Sigma 1 will always be greater than P. But in downstream side, the normal stress is more and water pressure is less, where in upstream water pressure is more, normal stress is less. In downstream side, water pressure is less, normal stress is more. So sigma 1 is the major principal stress. Sigma 1 is the major principal stress and P is the minor principal stress. However, for the downstream side, the worst condition will be when there is no tailwater and hence P will be 0 and sigma 1 will be maximum. In designing purpose, we are taking the worst condition. What is the worst condition? The worst condition is there is no release of water to the downstream. If there is no release of water, what will happen? Downstream side is empty. There is no water in the downstream side. So we take that condition. At that condition, if there is no water, there is no chance of water pressure. So P is 0. Water pressure is 0. If there is no water, so automatically there is no water pressure. That's why P is 0. And sigma 1 will maximum automatically. So if when the water pressure became 0, automatically what will happen? Principal stress is maximum. If PE is the intensity of hydrodynamic pressure of tailwater due to an earthquake. Next, we consider the PE is the hydrodynamic pressure, earthquake pressure. Then the principal stress of the downstream becomes sigma 1 equal to Pn secant square phi minus P into P minus E tan square phi. Okay? Resolving all the forces. Next important stress is shear stress. So above horizontal the forces, all horizontal forces are resolving, we get the value of tau. What is the tau? Tau is, what is the tau? Tau is the shear stress. So shear stress tau equal to Pn minus P tan phi. But the above equation is applicable for downstream side only. Okay, only downstream side shear stress is developed because principal stress is more. For the upstream side, the magnitude will be the same, but its direction will be reversed. If tailwater is neglected, the shear stress at the downstream side will be maximum. When there is no water pressure, automatically principal stress is maximum. When principal stress is maximum, then automatically shear stress is also maximum. So, when considering the earthquake, the shear stress value is Pn minus P minus Pe tan phi. In positive is taken in downstream direction and negative is taken in upstream direction. Okay, so these are the important stresses acting on the gravity dam: principal stress and shear stress. Next, we will start with failure of gravity dams. A gravity dam is designed in such a way that it resists all external forces acting on the dam. So the dam must design to resist the all external forces. What are the external forces? 8 major forces are water pressure, weight of the dam, uplift pressure, wind pressure, silt pressure, wave pressure, ice pressure. So the dam must resist all these forces. Generally, gravity dams are constructed with masonry or concrete. So, for next, by considering all these 8 forces also, there is a possibility of failure of dam. Why? Mainly 4 factors affect the failure of dam. The first one is overturning of dam. Where it occurs? The overturning is occurred at toe because the forces are, because stresses are more at a downstream side. Water pressure, ice pressure, wave pressure, all pressures are at major at upstream side when compared to downstream side. So overturning is occurred at downstream side toe because the normal stress, principal stress and shear stresses are more at downstream side. Next, sliding. Shear failure of gravity dam. It occurs at basement. Compression or crushing. By crushing of the gravity dam. Tension. By development of tensile forces which result in the crack in gravity dam. So, how these 4 forces, these 4 failures distribute in the dam? So, once you look at this figure, the overturning is occurred at the top of the dam. So there is a tilt occurred at the top of the dam. So the dam will overturn like this as shown in arrow form. Okay. Next one, sliding. Sliding issue occurred at the basement. So these number of arrows red arrows, these red arrows, small arrows are more than green arrows. You can count the arrows of red. It is more than the green one. So sliding is occurred. Basement, the basement sliding is occurred. The compression is occurred at toe. Okay, so compression or crushing is occurred at toe. Toe is this part, downstream side, ground part is toe, and heel, this one heel. So crushing is occurred at toe only, not on the heel. Next, tension. Tension will create the cracks in the body of the dam due to tensile forces. The tensile forces occur due to the material and construction of blocks and joint of that blocks. Next, first one, we will start with overturning failure of gravity dam. The horizontal forces such as water pressure, wave pressure, silt pressure, which act against the gravity dam, causes overturning moments. So, water pressure, wave pressure, weight of dam, all these 8 forces are main cause of overturning failure. To resist this, resisting moments are generated by the self-weight of the dam. So, to resist all these 8 forces, the weight of the dam is altered, depend on the forces. If the resultant of all the forces acting on a dam at any of its section passes through toe, the dam will rotate and overturn about the toe. Compulsory, all these forces should pass 1/3 distance of the dam. That is called 1/3 law of the dam. If they did not pass like that, in that way, then automatically overturning failure occurred at toe. Almost all failures are occurred at toe only, because in downstream direction the 8 forces are less compared to upstream side. This is called overturning failure of gravity dam. But practically, such a condition does not arise, and dam will fail much earlier by compressions. So when we take a case studies of different failed dams in the world, they observe that most dams are failed due to compression, not with overturning. That means engineers calculated pressures correctly. Next, the ratio of the resisting moments about toe to the overturning moments about toe is called the factor of safety against overturning. So we must take calculating the moments at toe to overturning moments. Its value is generally varies between 2 and 3. The factor of safety against overturning is given by sum of overturning moments by sum of resisting moments. Okay, so this is the formula. These are the external forces, horizontal forces sigma h, and vertical forces is considered as sigma v. Then how much friction will develop? Mu into sigma v, friction will develop in the dam. So this is the example of overturning moments. Overturning is initially the dam is designed like this. Okay, we want to design dam like this. Water pressure below the ground, uplift pressure and weight of dam. So major overturning causes are water pressure, uplift pressure and dam weight. The remaining forces are also important, but compared to these these three, what are three? Water pressure, weight of dam, uplift. The remaining forces are acting very less. Next, but if not design, if our design is not resist hydrostatic force and uplift pressure, so the dam will tilt like this. So initial it is a straight line. This dotted line is the actual dam design, but when tilt occurs, the top is changed like this. So you can see the curve. The dam shape is changed like this, but actually it should be in dotted line, but due to overturning moment the dam changed its shape, tilted. Some shape is tilted downstream side, so automatically what will happen? Cracks will occur in upstream hill. So this is the overturning moment. Next, sliding failure of gravity dam. When the net horizontal forces acting on gravity dam at the base exceeds the frictional resistance. What is the frictional resistance? Produced between body of the dam and foundation. Frictional resistance is at the foundation and body of the dam. The failure occurs is known as sliding failure of gravity dam. So when sliding occurs, horizontal forces acting on gravity dam at the base exceeds the frictional resistance. So horizontal forces greater than the frictional resistance, then the sliding is occurred. Okay. In first figure already we show in basement arrows count. So the sliding failure occurred at basement ending and starting of the dam body. In low dams, the safety against sliding should be checked only for friction. In low dams, we are taking the sliding in terms of friction calculation. In high dams, for economical precise design, the shear strength of the joint is also considered. So factor of safety against sliding can be calculated on two bases. First one based on frictional resistance, second one based on frictional resistance and the shear strength of the dam. First case is taken at low dams, second one is taken for high dams. The factor of safety based on frictional resistance is sliding factor tan theta equal to sigma h by sigma v minus u, where sigma h horizontal, sigma h sum of vertical forces acting on dam, so h horizontal forces, sigma v vertical forces, U uplift pressure, mu coefficient of friction. Okay, H horizontal forces, V vertical forces, U uplift force, mu frictional factor, coefficient of friction. The coefficient of friction is in between 0.65 to 0.75. The factor of safety against sliding shall be computed and the value is always should be greater than 1. If the value is less than 1, there is a possibility of sliding failure. So we must take care that the value should be greater than 1. Though, so the sliding is occurred like this. So the wall shape is straight. In design, it is a straight shape. But due to the horizontal pressures, water pressure, silt pressure, all these pressures, the shape is changed like this. Slipping is occurred. The slip is called the sliding. In the basement also, basement is reduced. Actually, the original basement is from starting this one to this one, but due to the pressures not balancing, the basement length is decreased. Automatically, sliding is occurred. So, for to resist all these forces, the basement length also should be considered. Basement length. Next important one is the failure due to tension cracks. Masonry and concrete are weak in tension. Thus, masonry and concrete gravity dams are usually designed in such a way that no tension is developed anywhere. So, concrete is weak in tension. So, compulsory, we should not allow a small tension in the dam. If allowed a small fraction of tension in the dam, automatically the dam will fail. If these dams are subjected to tensile stresses, materials may develop tension cracks. Thus, the dam loses contact with the bottom foundation due to this crack and becomes ineffective and fail. So, if tension is created in the dam, it will it the dam will lose contact with the foundation. If tension is created, crack is generated, automatically the dam has tendency to lose their contact with the foundation. What will happen if the contact between dam body and foundation is missing? The dam stability will fail. Hence, the effective width B of the dam base will be reduced. So, to reduce this tensile force, dam base width is reduced. But it is not much of reduction. So, in reduction, we must take care of sliding also. Okay, this will increase P maximum at the toe. So this reduction will increase the principal stress at the toe. Hence, a tension crack by itself does not fail the structure, but it leads to the failure of the structure by producing excessive compressive stress. Tension one crack does not create failure directly in the dam immediately, but it creates indirectly by increasing the compressive stress. For high gravity dams, certain amount of tension is permitted under severest loading conditions in order to achieve economy in design. If not possible in a large, huge dams, so just some percent very low tension is permitted. But take care that no tension is taken in the dam, then only it will save. If there is no chance like that, a small amount percent of tension should be allowed. This is permitted because the worst condition of loads may occur only momentarily and may not occur frequently. If for calculation, if eccentricity E is greater than B by 6, then tension will be developed at the heel of the dam. Since concrete cannot resist tension, hence no tension is permitted at any point of view. So tension cracks are created here. So due to this crack, automatically uplift pressure is changing. So tension cracks are considered at the base of the dam. The normal stress at the heel be negative or tensile as shown in figure. When the eccentricity E is greater than B by 6, a crack of length LC will develop due to tension, and it is given by LC equal to B by 2 into 1 minus B by 6E. Okay, so this is the tension formula. Last one, failure due to compression. Compression is also occur at the base of the dam. A gravity dam may fail by the failure of its material. That is, the compressive stresses produced may exceed the allowable stresses, and then the dam material may get crushed. Due to material of the dam, the compression stress is occurred. The stress is in two shapes. First one, compression is straight, and there is a reversing is occurred at in the if that compression stress form like this, the principal stress is minimum in this case, and the principal stress is maximum at this case. The positive sign will be used for calculating normal stress at the toe, since the bending stress will be compressive there, and negative sign will be used for calculating normal stress at the heel. Thus, the normal stress at the heel and toe is P equal to direct stress plus bending stress. The formulas are sigma Vy by B into 1 plus 6E by B. Okay, 1 plus or minus. Plus will take at toe, minus will take at heel calculations. In this equation, V represents vertical forces, small b base of the dam, E eccentricity of the dam. Okay, so these are the forces. Compression force, the compression acting like this. So this is the 1/3 law. Okay, resultant force should pass the 1/3 of the base of the dam. So compulsory, the resultant force of the dam should pass through 1/3 of the dam. So the distance between the vertical force acts exact center of the base of the dam. Resultant force acts 1/3 distance pass through the 1/3 distance of the base of the dam. That 1/3 from heel side. So the difference between is FV and R is the eccentricity E. Okay. So what is the main reason for these 4 failures? The main reason for these 4 failures are proper designing of the basement of the dam. What is the basement? We are taking the foundation very much hard, but what length we considered in as a base. So that length of the basement is fixed correctly. Otherwise, compression failure, tension failures are occurred. Okay. So in what way the base should be there? The resultant forces of the dam should pass through the 1/3 distance from the heel through the basement of the dam. Then only the dam is stable. If E is the eccentricity, so that eccentricity is less than B by 6, the shape of the compression is like in figure B. If E equal to B by 6, the shape is, the base is like figure C. If E is greater than B by 6, then the figure D will occur. Okay, so depend on these E B by 6 relation, not only the compression failure, the uplift, because uplift pressure is modified. Due to the modification of uplift pressure, automatically compression failure will occur. So the compression pressure is depend on E and B by 6 relationship. What are the precautions against dams failure? To prevent overturning, the resultant of all forces acting on the dam should be remain within the middle third of the base width of the dam. In the dam, the sliding should be fully resisted when the condition for no sliding exists in the dam section. In the dam section, the compressive stresses of concrete or masonry should not exceed the permissible working stresses to avoid failure due to crushing. There should be no tension in the dam section to avoid the formation of cracks. The factor of safety should be maintained between 4 to 5. So, by taking these precautions, we are designed safely the dam, and we protect the dam from other stresses. Okay, thank you.